What's good, Griff13 here back in today, and today, guys, there is apparently a little bit of a leak of Forza Horizon 5 already, and the game is not even out yet. Some data miners have gone through the files of the pre-downloaded Horizon 5 on their PC and have found 11 brand new leaked cars for Forza Horizon 5. Now, this information is coming from a small YouTuber by the name of Yusef Tegars. Link will be down in the description below. Go ahead and check out his original video. I will say, take this with a grain of salt, as we don't actually know if this is entirely true or not. A lot of times when you see these data mine leaks, you'll see images which are actually thumbnails of the car in the game. And the way that Horizon 5 has done it, like, the thumbnails are pretty hard. Like, you have to be like 20 feet up in the air in order to take a picture of these cars in order to create that fake thumbnail. So that's usually a pretty good sign that they are probably going to be real in the future. This one, however, though, does show a clip at the top of every single car he mentions that shows the file path to the leaked car and where he's getting his information from, which honestly, that's pretty dang good, and that's fairly solid information. But again, this is a potential leak. Take it with a grain of salt. Again, his link will be down in the description below, so you can go ahead and check it out. So 3 of these cars are actually brand new individual cars, which may end up being, you know, part of our VIP premium edition, you know, like our car pass, essentially, where we get like 2 cars every week for a couple of months, and then it's gone. So these 3 cars might end up being part of that. But then there's a whole brand new car pack, the Formula Drift car pack, with 7 brand new Formula Drift related cars, which is pretty damn awesome. So starting off with the first car that got leaked, we have the 1967 Renault 8 Gordini. This is a rear-engined and rear-wheel drive car with 99 horsepower. So not really a whole lot, but it did make its way over into motorsport with like some small road rallies and things that require a small, nimble car. It wasn't necessarily the quickest, it wasn't the nimblest car ever, so, you know, it was more like, you know, you take your dad out on a weekend drive, you go do a nice little road rally or something like that. It wasn't like a huge deal. They did sell them in the US, and actually how they marketed them was like, we know we had problems with our last car, but this one's a little bit better. But people in the US didn't like them, not just because, you know, they were upset with the brand, but because the Renault 8 Gordini was just not powerful enough for the US market, because the interstate system had just been constructed at the time of this car's release. So essentially, you had this little teeny tiny car with 99 horsepower, and it just wasn't big enough or fast enough for the US interstates. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I guess places like New York and Chicago, this probably could have sold well, like in big cities, but the interstates, man, like, that's where a lot of the US market kind of thrives. After that, we have is the 1970 Mercury Cyclone spoiler. Now, this was a homologation variant for Nascar, so only 500 of these cars were ever actually made. There's a few little modifications here and there, but the most important factor was that these cars were made more aerodynamic than the stock Mercury Cyclone. In fact, I think the front bumper is actually a rear bumper off of a Ford Fairlane. So there's some little minor tweaks here that were to make this car a little bit better. But now, because only 500 were made, they are considered to be a very rare and expensive car today. So these are highly collectible. If you ever see one of these sitting in a barn, pick it up, man. Pick it up, because that thing is worth a small fortune. Then we move on to our last of the 3 main leaked cars, and that is the 2019 Subaru WRX STI S209, which, if I remember correctly, was actually a Japanese-only variant of the car. Only 209 of these were going to be built, and because of that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot to just go around, which is why they remained in Japan. Now, the thing is, I don't know if they would have sold very well in the first place, although they probably would have, because they were double the cost of a normal WRX. So those of us who wanted to actually have one can't afford one, even though it's really not that much better than a stock WRX, as it does get 341 horsepower, which is done by having more boost and improving the fuel flow, which results in a 0 to 60 of just 4.4 seconds. You can do a lot more than that for 30 grand on a stock WRX. I mean, giggity goddamn. Just holy crap, it's really not worth it. They also did add a few other things to reduce chassis flex and adding in sway bars and all kinds of things like that. But really, 64,000? That's the MSRP of a Corvette, of a C8 Vet, which I honestly would much rather have, which has more power, rear-wheel drive, and mid-engined. Oh my god. And you're getting a WRX. Jesus Christ. Then we move on to the supposed leak Formula Drift car pack. Not many of these cars are going to have a whole lot of information about them because they are basically Formula Drift cars, and a lot of them are kept under wraps because they don't want their competitors finding out what tricks they have up their sleeve. So there's not going to be a whole lot of information with these, but I'll give you some power info and anything that I found that was kind of interesting related to them. So the first car is not actually even a Formula Drift car, but it was built by a Formula Drift champion, and that is the 1978 Datsun 280Z Gold Legend. Now, apparently in the files it says Gold Legend, and I think that might be a misspelling of Gold Leader, because Chris Forsberg actually built this car, and at least I believe so. And it's an RB25 swapped 280Z, which is crazy, and it's from it's bonkers. It's got a nice white body kit, RB25 swapped, and the guy who built it is a 3-time Formula Drift champion. That is a pretty dope car. Moving on down the line, we have the Formula Drift number 91 BMW M2 driven by Yves Meyer, who is a Swiss drifter and is on Nexen tires. His car puts out 800 horsepower, and honestly, God, it looks pretty good. It really, really does. I wonder if it is using that N52 engine, I believe, that a lot of BMW M2s have. I think that's the engine that's in it, the N52. But yeah, no, definitely a really cool car. Then we have the Formula Drift number 357 Corvette, driven by Joao Barion, who is a Brazilian drifter and was actually one of the stars of Hyperdrive. So that's kind of cool. We are getting a Formula Drift car that also was featured on Hyperdrive, which is pretty dang awesome. Now the thing is, though, is we already have a Formula Drift Corvette, so this will make number 2. Although I believe that the one that we have in the game is actually a C6, this one being a C7, so we're going to get a little bit of variety there. Now, I don't remember. I think we do have an RX-8 in this game, and that is the Formula Drift number 99 Mazda Rx-8 driven by Kyle Mohan. This is a 3-rotor, God, not 3-reader. I can't talk. It's late. It's really late. I should be in bed. But we have a 3-rotor RX-8, and Kyle Mohan is from Long Beach. That's really all I found out about this car. He apparently sells aftermarket parts for your RX-8 if you want to pick one up on his website, I guess. I saw that when I was doing my research, so that's kind of interesting. But then we move on to our next car, which is the number 34 Formula Drift Dan Burkett Toyota Supra Mark IV. This I did get a little bit more information on. It has 650 horsepower, which honestly, for a Mark IV Supra, seems kind of low, although yet appropriate for Formula Drift, I could say. And he actually owns his own company that built this car, called Rad Industries. Him and his wife own it together, and in fact, with Rad Industries, before he even started tackling Formula Drift, he had another Mark IV Supra that was featured in Super Street magazine. So that's kind of dope. That is kind of dope. And honestly, when we were talking about the return of Toyota, before the return of Toyota, I actually looked at Dan Burkett's Toyota Supra. I was like, hey, bring in some of these Formula Drift cars. There's a lot of Formula Drift cars that you could add in and kind of sneak past and get past the Toyota barrier that we had in Forza Horizon 4. And I did the same thing with the next car, which is the number 51 Formula Drift Toyota GR Supra, driven by Frederic Asabo. This thing is a Rockstar branded Toyota Supra, and honestly, it looks hella good. It's got 1,000 horsepower, and it's on the stock block of the B58, which is absolutely insane. That just goes to show that you can use the stock block on these Supras, and you are going to make a hell of a lot of power. That B58 engine might just become the new 2JZ. It's going to be absolutely insane to see how well this car actually holds up. I really can't wait and see how much power these cars are able to put out once a lot of people start doing it. God, I love the GR Supra. I don't know why. Saw one the other day, just fell in love. I always thought it was kind of odd looking, but man, it looks good. It really, really does. But I'm most excited about this car, and that is the number 411 Formula Drift Toyota Corolla hatchback, driven by Ryan Tuerck. And if you guys know Ryan Tuerck or even heard his name, then you probably know about his Ferrari-powered, oh god, it's not, is it a BRZ? No, I think it's a, is it an 86? Because I feel so weird because, like, there's FRS, the BRZ, and the 86. It's one of those, but he has a Ferrari engine in it, which is absolutely insane. I would have really loved to have seen his Ferrari-powered Toyota 86. That would have been absolutely amazing. That would have been absolutely amazing. But the Corolla hatchback, this is like one of the few ways I think that we're ever going to see a Toyota Corolla in this game. And it has 1,000 horsepower from a 2.7 liter engine. Just a little 2.7 liter putting out 1,000 horsepower. Holy crap, that's almost like 400 horsepower like a liter. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And then finally, our last car is also from Ryan Tuerck, which is a Toyota Camry 2JZ swapped Nascar. It's a NASCAR with a 2JZ in it! Oh my gosh, again, built by Ryan Tuerck, so you know it's absolutely insane. I mean, what else do I have to say? It's got a 2JZ in it. You know this thing is going to be quick, it's going to be powerful, it's going to be reliable. Oh my god, it's just, I don't know if I would have ever done that, but hey, more power to him. More power to him. Anyway, leave a comment down below and let me know, do you think this leak is legitimate? And did you guys go check out Yusef Tegars' channel? Again, link is down in the description below. Honestly, I highly recommend it. He's a small YouTuber. He found this information, so all credit goes to him. But anyway, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Grove413 and Instagram.com/Grove413. And if you like this video, go make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe for videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye!